This news just breaking. The first of two anticipated pronouncements on South Africa's credit status is here. Standard & Poor's has kept South Africa's credit rating unchanged at BBB-, but it has revised the outlook on this country to negative from stable. Now, negative outlook means that the agency is basically advising that unless something changes, the next move is likely to be down. Now, if that downgrade happens, South Africa will move into non-investment grade or a so-called junk status. Well, to discuss, we're joined by S&P's Gardner Rissiker in London. Gardner, thank you for joining us on the line. Why are we worthy, firstly, of only being one notch above junk status, and now you're saying the outlook is negative?
Thank you, Francis. I think first and foremost, we have affirmed the investment grade ratings for South Africa, and this speaks to institutional stability and macro policy continuity. So the outlook revision from stable to negative, this is to flag the downside risks of the ratings owing to the deterioration of our economic assessment from neutral to weakness. Our view is that going ahead, GDP growth might be lower than we currently expect, or that fiscal flexibility might actually reduce owing to contingency risks from state-owned entities with weak balance sheets.
Explain, please, for lay people in this country who are very concerned. They hear news that we're heading towards junk status. What is the primary concern? Does that lower growth mean that we are unlikely to start paying back our debt? Is that the main concern?
So the slower pace of economic growth has been with us for quite a number of years now, and going ahead we see that the pace of growth will still remain low, especially for a country with limited wealth levels, or what we call GDP per capita of around $6,000. So if you put it into a context that population growth is growing at around 1.5%, and then economic growth in 2015 is growing at around 1.4%. So that means that population growth is faster than economic growth. So in the end, that may affect South Africa's ability to service its debt payments and maintain the ratings in the investment grade category. So we are flagging those downside risks.
So you're basically saying we're getting poorer as a country. What needs to change then? Or does it look like a fait accompli that next time you pronounce, and please tell me that when that will be, we will be in junk status?
So it's a combination of factors that is affecting GDP growth. So it is a combination of external factors, which comes from weak external demand, given the low commodity prices. And then there are domestic constraints, which include inadequate electricity supply and the overall weak business confidence, which is impacting on substantial private sector investment. So that is the perspective. Then in terms of policy issues, I think there are some areas that still lack policy direction or that need clarity. That could improve sort of the business confidence and probably private sector fixed investments.
Gardner, some analysts have looked at the fact that we're heading towards a status even lower than Turkey, that's basically at war, huge geopolitical tensions in that part of the world. Is it fair, this rating that you're giving us?
I think for Standard & Poor's, we still rate South Africa in investment grade. We rate Turkey in the non-investment grade. We rate Brazil and Russia in the non-investment grade. So we still believe at the moment that South Africa is still in investment grade ratings, and this is supported by some of the institutional stability factors and macro policy.
And is it something, I mean, you're saying we're still in investment grade, but this is something that investors look at. It's something that could affect our cost of borrowing, put us even deeper into debt. Is this well thought through? Because some say it's unfair. America has huge debt, still right up there in terms of credit ratings.
So South Africa is still in investment grade today. South Africa has time to turn around the situation, and I think turning around the situation involves issues around GDP growth. So, and some of these involves better policy implementation, and some of these involve trying to improve business confidence. So South Africa has time to turn around a negative outlook does not mean that the next rating action will be a downgrade. It only suggests that there are downside pressures to the ratings.
Have countries turned around? In my experience, a negative outlook means a downgrade, or is that not always the case? And let's end with that question.
I think according to Standard & Poor's, a negative outlook, it means that there is 1 in 3 chances that the rating might be lowered. So it is not a decision that has already been made. There is still room to turn around the situation.
All right, thank you very much, Gardner Rissika from S&P. That has just said it's keeping our rating unchanged, but it's moving the outlook from stable to negative, meaning, as he said, there's a 1 in 3 chance that we could move downwards. Now, Fitch is expected to release its own assessment later tonight. It is expected overwhelmingly to downgrade South Africa to 1 notch above junk status, which will bring Fitch in line with S&P and the other global credit rating agency, Moody's. Well, the rand, we just looked at it a short while ago.